Integrated bracelet design, intermittent polishing and brushing on the surfaces, sharp and bold profiles with angular design, double deployed clasp following the same integrated design of the bracelet. And then there's more to it. Titanium case and bracelet, open worked and then in-house movement, and the 100-meter water resistance. This is Zenith's Deified Classic Skeleton. Introduced in Basel 2017, the watch housed in titanium case bearing 41mm with a matching titanium bracelet offers a skeletonized dial. In a variety of open work watches in the market, there's something special about Zenith Defy. Symmetry and balance of the dial, which is always a welcome design element. Starting from the dial, the first thing you notice is the star-shaped motif on the dial face, which aligns with the brand logo. The attention to detail here is that the star shape comes with beveled edges to add a touch of luxury and fine watchmaking to the watch. The details to showcase the brand logo and the star in the watch do not stop there. Rather, Zenith have gone to every stretch to utilize the opportunity to showcase the brand logo in the watch. Another example is the seconds hand, and at the counterweight section, there's a beautiful star that meets the design of logo available just above the text Zenith in the dial. The same Zenith star is then further beautifully crafted on the escape wheel and has a contrasting blue tone to it in polished machining, allowing it to change between black and then blue. The dial also features date at 6 o'clock, and interestingly, while you get to view the full date circle in the dial, which serves the idea of open work watch, the color combination for the date wheel with relatively matching background hibernates it in the dial, unless you want to see it or until you get to 6 o'clock, where you find a white background and the actual date of the day then pops out of the full date circle. Indeed, a very thoughtful design to offer a very legible date in a skeletonized watch, which are not best known to be the most legible watches. I particularly like the fact that the date can be adjusted on both sides. This is a welcome addition, as having to go through full cycle for date change in the event of one extra turn of crown by mistake is actually very frustrating, and being able to turn the crown back to reverse to the date is then the best thing to happen. On the same topic of watch time legibility, where skeleton watches generally display the movement and finer details, the trade-off is the time legibility, which of course becomes a secondary function or one of the primary functions of the skeletonized watch. Thanks to the wide hands on the dial with thick luminous material filled in them in this Zenith, the watch actually reads time fairly well under any lighting. There's a blue dial rim to show minute markings that further adds to the overall look of the watch. So in a nutshell, with Zenith Defy in hand, you get to see the beautiful movement and mechanism in the watch, yet without any compromise on the time reading function of it. The hour markers come with multiple facets too, which add character and to the overall experience of the watch on the wrist. The watch case is all titanium and offers an intermittent brushed and polished surfaces. The polishing and brushing on the watch are reasonably well done, although I do feel that the polishing could have been a little more refined and premium. The case material is titanium, which is relatively dull in its shade compared to steel. So the watch holds a tool watch look, and despite being a skeleton watch, manages to remain under the radar. There's a very proportionate circular bezel that has top surface which is brushed vertically, and then the bezel sides that are polished. The bezel side also has two facets to add a little more interest to the overall experience. The watch comes with Zenith in-house 670 SK movement, which offers 50 hours of power reserve. With 3 days of power reserve almost becoming industry norm, there is an opportunity for Zenith to improve on battery reserve, especially in today's benchmark numbers. The caliber is relatively smaller in size compared to 41mm case size and has 25.6mm diameter and 3.8mm thickness to house inside 10.5mm thick watch case. The movement comprises of 27 jewels and beats at 4 Hz, meaning a relatively more fluid movement of sweeping seconds hand. The watch comes with 100-meter water resistance, but since the crown is not screwed in, rather it only just clicks in, I'd personally be reluctant in wearing it to even swimming at surface level. Splash of water on a day-to-day use I don't think should be of any concern regardless. This Zenith is said to have taken the design inspiration from AP Royal Oak. While every integrated bracelet design watch to exist has taken design clues mostly from AP Royal Oak or Patek Nautilus, you can see that yes, this Zenith follows quite a lot of similar design proportions as AP Royal Oak. The chamfering on the bezel and then the way it continues onto the bracelet, the case bending at lugs with sharp angle, top surface of bezel with brush lines and bevels as polished, and even the bolder angles and sharp profiles on the case and bracelet. The design inspiration is evident. So if you always had a desire for AP Royal Oak but haven't had the chance to own one as yet, this Zenith in skeleton or especially in the blue dial will easily get you a little flavor of that look without any problems. But is there any comparison here between the watches? As the price difference between these watches would indicate, no, there is no comparison or competition here. The watch is 41mm and despite having an integrated bracelet design, it wears actually fairly small. Surprisingly, it also wears smaller than Rolex Submariner or GMT on maxi cases. Where Rolex maxi case watches have lug-to-lug height of 49mm, this Zenith Defy actually only has 46mm lug-to-lug. So you can rest assured that if the Rolex subs work well for you or maybe slightly big for you, Zenith Defy will serve the purpose for you just about right. It wears great even on smaller wrists. The wrist in view is 6.5 inches and you can see that the watch sits perfectly in the center with no impression of it looking big or bulky. It's thin, lightweight, smaller lug-to-lug and due to integrated bracelet contours to the wrist in perfect symmetry. Upon the flick of wrist, you start to experience the way bracelet plays with the light, which adds character and interest to the watch. The clasp is double deployant and although very firm and solid, there is no quick adjustment. In fact, to add or remove links, you would need 2 screwdrivers to be able to unscrew the nuts for the links. Bracelet also comes with beautiful brushing done on it and showcasing fine watchmaking with angles and profiles that you can stare at all day. Titanium is a softer metal, so this watch is easier to scratch or dent than stainless steel watch. The darker shade of silver that titanium has compared to steel, however, does help with not exposing those easily made superficial swirls very easily. On one hand, skeleton watches are not best known for the time legibility, and if this seems a little too busy or complicated for you, there's a blue dial version that's also on offer, which I personally love too due to its simplicity. But on the other hand, you don't buy the skeleton watch if you wanted a time on the piece. Weighing under only 100 grams due to titanium construction, Zenith Defy Classic in skeletonized configuration offers a very solid package of fine watchmaking and attention to detail while showcasing beautiful movement on both sides of the case. At the price of under 10,000 Aussie dollars with titanium construction and while having design inspiration for the integrated bracelet design, the star-shaped motif showcased in many design elements, the watch easily has characteristics enough to make its own identity. The bold case profiles and sharp case lines have their own melodies to sing, and with many other sports watches offered at overly inflated prices, this Zenith Defy might be your best thing to happen.